Hey guys, I thought I'd make this quick video to warn some people in case they're not already aware that this can happen, and I believe this is the sole reason of why this is happening to me on my bike. So I ride a rather new Ninja 400, and they're new tires, and so in about 2 months I'd be riding for about a year. I'm not bad, I learned my mistakes in the beginning, all that stuff. I think I ride pretty fine, and I don't think that's the issue. So the first time I noticed that something was off, I was like, I know the answer, and I'll tell that to you in a second. So I want you guys to be careful of this, because I mean, this can make you feel like, and it can not just feel like, if it's wet, because that's what happened to me the other day. It doesn't even have to be wet. Just listen to what I have to say. So I was taking a corner, like I was at a light. I was the first person taking a corner, and as I turned, and I was almost straight, I'm like, wow, it felt like my tires, I don't know, like were off, or it felt like I was sliding. And I thought, well, what the heck could make me slide? I didn't change my gear, like I didn't have it in a high rev or anything, like I'm careful when I take a corner, like I'm in the first gear, and I'll go around the corner. I may change my gear, but at lower speed. And I felt it was like as if I was losing control, and it was like the back slid out, and I couldn't understand, and it kind of spooks you, eh? So I keep riding on the road, and this is a road that I've been on for quite a while, but I believe something did change. I could be wrong, but in any case, I'm riding down the road, and I'm thinking, do I feel wobbling in my wheels? Because that's the first thing I thought. And as I go down the road, there are times where it feels like it kind of jolts. Okay, and just give me a second. I gotta take a sip of water, guys. I have difficulty with my speech. So it seemed like it was really happening on one road, but I couldn't figure out what it was. And I thought to myself, hey, my bike is rather new. I know how to ride. This wasn't happening to me before. And I thought, are my wheels, could the weights be off on my wheels? So it kind of makes you nervous to go out, and what's going to happen when I take this corner? What's going to happen if I change my gear with too high a rev and stuff like that? And so it kind of got in my head, not too much though. And there were about 3 different days that this happened. Same corner, I felt the same thing. I'm like, and I believe one of those days it was in the rain, so it was even more. So I'm riding my bike today, and I'm kind of getting an idea of what it is. And I'm riding down a road, and I was riding kind of in the middle, which I know you shouldn't, but it was a nice day, and suddenly I just felt like my bike kind of jerked out on me. I'm like, what's going on, man? Like, I'm trying to, I stopped my bike, go to the side of the road. I even went to a side road to go slow and look at my wheels to see if there's any wobble in it, but there wasn't. And it seemed that when I went on like a flat road, absolutely, nice and flat road, it would not happen. So what was it? I noticed when I went back, be careful of this, because this can be dangerous, especially when it's wet. I would like to, maybe I'll make a put something on Canva, and I'll put my face, and I'll put exactly what it is. But on roads, and I don't know what they're called, but on the asphalt, there's rubber, You ever seen rubber lines down the road? Do you know what I mean? I don't know why they have it. I don't know if they're fill-ins. I don't know the purpose of them, but what I know is this: they're dangerous for motorcycles. So they're, man, I'm sure it can be any size, but they're usually pretty thin. So they're like, they're like maybe that thin, and they're rubber. They're slippery, man. That's what was happening when I went around that corner. Like, it was like being on pebbles or something. And I noticed the road that it was spooking me out on. I looked, and it didn't just have like one or even two lines. It was all over the place. So I'm like, okay, if I go right over here, is it better? No. If I ride over here, so and I went back, and the place that I thought my bike was just going to slide out on me when I was going straight on a nice day, there was a big rubber line. I don't know the name of it, but I'll look it up. I guess they are fillers, but they're dangerous for motorcycles that have thin wheels, right? And the wheels on a street bike are like flattish, right? There's not really tready, but in any case, it's dangerous. So remember that the next time you go out on your bike, right? Because you don't want to fall. And then I pulled over. I'm like, do I have to take this and get my wheels checked, to balance my wheels? But I don't believe that's it at all. It's those little rubber things. So when you go on that rubber, it's like, how do I explain this? Trying to think here. Yeah, so if you turn and say that's the road, you're coming around, here's the road right here, you're coming, you turn, and in the middle here, you see that little line, that's the rubber. You go to turn, your front wheel probably won't slip, but it could. But when you go like this with your back, it will slide like that. Anyways, I thought I'd warn you, be careful.